What's going on, guys? I'm back with another one. And I just watched a movie called Violent Night, starring David Harbour, Alexis Louder, and Alex Hassel. First of all, it's that time of the season, and well, it's that time of the year. I'm sorry. So I feel like it's time for me to talk about the Christmas classics. All right, or at least what I grew up watching. All right, because in 1966, well, of course I wasn't born yet, but reruns, reshows. All right, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas came out. Now, any kid from the 70s on down should know about this classic right here. This is one of Dr. Seuss's best, besides Cat in the Hat. All right. And no, I have not seen the Jim Carrey version of this yet. Not saying I don't want to see it or I'm opposed to it. I just haven't had the interest to just go watch it. Now, if that's a suggestion you need to make, let me know. Let me know in the comments section. Somebody. All right. Then in 1983, A Christmas Story came out. Now, this is a definite classic right here. All right. This is one of those dark Christmas movies, okay, with the dark humor and just all kind of messed up things happening throughout this film. Okay, that when you're a kid, you kind of get it, but as you get older and you watch this movie again, you're like, I get it now. I get. When I was younger, I was kind of like, oh, I get that, but I don't know why that was funny. Now I know why it's funny. All right, and so because of that, I appreciate that. I appreciate that movie being made. And stop making sequels. You'll never amount to the first one. Stop it, please. Just don't do it. All right. Then in 1988, Die Hard came out. Now, despite the whole dispute of whether this is a Christmas movie or not, all right, Christmas theme is in this, all over this movie. So I'm going to accept it as a Christmas movie. You heard it here first, okay? We've accepted less. So I will wholeheartely take Die Hard as a holiday film. This is a bunch of blood and shooting and guts and people dying. But it's Christmas. It's Christmas, man. It's all the good fun of the holiday cheer. Then in 1989, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation came out. All right, now this is riding off of their first one, National Lampoon's Vacation, straight up, with Chevy Chase, the comedian you love to hate, right? Or, either way around that. This was just hilarious. A hilarious movie of anything you could think could go wrong on Christmas. It happened in this movie. All right, that's National Lampoon's theme. That's what they do. Any subject they pull up, they know how to make everything just go left. And you still love it by the end of it. Then in 1990, another huge classic came out. Home Alone. All right. This is the introduction of Macaulay Culkin. All right. Who had his other little brothers who just were copies of him in different ways. No offense. But this is the one where you see that a kid can make these war traps in his own house, and you wonder who taught him how to do this? Where did he learn this from? TV? What? Where? What was he doing? But you were still entertained by this, and how badly his family just treated him. They just treat him like crap, and then they all leave, and now he has the house to himself. And that when you're a certain age, you kind of feel that vibe. You feel that. You feel every inch of that. Not like that. No. And in 1996, Jingle All the Way came out. Now, Jingle All the Way, this is a movie that was slept on, in my opinion. People didn't think that Arnold Schwarzenegger could be funny. All right, they thought that maybe him being teamed up with Sinbad was a bad idea and all this. And so people kind of ignored this. But I'm sorry. Everything Arnold Schwarzenegger says is just hilarious to me. So for him to be put into a comedy where he's purposely being funny, oh, I loved every minute. Every time he talked, I just started chuckling. I started to chuckle. That's right. Not snicker, not giggle. Men don't giggle. I chuckle. All right. Watch it if you haven't watched it. Then in 2000, Reindeer Games came out. Now this was the first time, not the first time, I'll say the second time that I fully accepted a Christmas action movie. Okay, Ben Affleck was out in this one. All right, he was still on the up and rising at the point, and I think somebody else was in there that was very popular. All right, we all know who that is. And the whole storyline was interesting, and how it came about, and somebody was claiming somebody was their brother, and then that things didn't go that way. Watch the movie if you haven't seen it. But I just enjoyed the fact that the whole Christmas vibe through it was just, it was kind of tainted with this blood, this violence, and betrayal and action going on. And I just kind of grew into that. I grew into that movie. I liked it. Okay. Then in 2003, we'll throw two in here. Bad Santa and Bad Santa 2 in 2013 came out. Okay, Bad Santa. Let me tell you something. Billy Bob Thornton just has a way of being himself and still being almost a different person in every movie. Just with a little bit of the bitter, crass humor, the depressed, I don't want to be here anymore type of vibe to himself. All right. And he really brought that with this one. He was just a horrible person in both movies, to the point where no matter who else is in the movie, it's going to be good. All right. Because Bob's going to bring it. Billy Bob Thornton is going to bring that. Excuse me. Excuse me. All right. And now we have Violent Night. Also, I want to say this list could have been a lot longer, but that's for another day. Okay. We got to stop there. But now we have Violent Night. And my question is, will Violent Night be as big as a classic as these others? We're about to find out. Let's go. Violent Night, for those who don't know, for those who are not aware, if you don't know about Violent Night right now, I don't know if I should be mad at you, because it was advertised for a little bit, then they kind of just shut it down with the trailers, and you never heard from it again, and then it just kind of came back up all of a sudden towards the holidays. So, I'm going to let y'all slide this time around, all right? I'm not going to penalize anybody out of the holiday spirit, all right? Violent Night is pretty much a story of a very dysfunctional family, all right? With your guy played by Alex Hassel here, who, has his wife and, the kid, his ex-wife, I'm sorry, and their daughter who really wishes they would get back together. And this is a family that has to be mended back. They just don't know how to do this. They have all the want and will to do it, but they just don't know what they're going to do. All right. And the holidays are coming up, and at this time they go meet to go meet his very dysfunctional family. Okay? And so they do just that. All right? And while doing this, meanwhile, Santa Claus, no, there are no quotation marks. Santa Claus, for real, is contemplating on whether he should keep doing what he does anymore. He feels like the Christmas spirit, the Christmas cheer is gone. This world has become just a horrible place to be in. It really has. And so he's going around all Christmas night, Christmas Eve, just drunk as hell, throwing presents everywhere, peeing on houses, all kinds of stuff. All right. Meanwhile, back, the other family is having all kinds of disputes, and everybody's trying to kiss up to the mother and all this. But little do they know, there are some people who do not like them. A lot of people who do not like this family. And they are being targeted heavily for a robbery. And that they get. And Santa Claus just happens to come in on this robbery. And now he must make the decision on whether he cares about humanity or not. All right? And that's the movie. That's the premise of the movie. All right? Positives. This definitely brought the violence. This lives up to the title of what it's called. All right? The title is Violent Night. That's what this is. Very violent. The action is crazy. Once things get into motion, it does not stop. All right? Especially when Santa comes into the picture, and it's a slow burn, but he slowly starts to get back into the swing of things. And I'll explain that a little later. But he's using all kinds of things that you wouldn't think you could use. Yet you could use on people to hurt them, to cause pain. All right? Another positive. The humor. This was so funny in and throughout this whole film. I was laughing so hard. Of course, you have John Leguizamo as the villain, so that was an easy catch right there. That's an easy laugh every time he's around. All right. Other than that, you have a Santa who is hurting people. All right. Then on the other end, the family is so messed up. They have a nephew in there who is downplayed because he wasn't born a girl. Okay, which is not always the case in a lot of families, but they switched it around in this one. Then the sister and the brother are constantly competing for the mother's affection. All right, constantly. I guess they want that money she has. All right, she does have some money. All right, so the family is so messed up in that manner. Another positive, Santa's backstory. This is what I was going to get to. All right, Santa, in a lot of movies, you never really know what Santa Claus is about and why he does what he does. You kind of do, okay, but not really. It's really not an interesting backstory. And then you have this, and let's just say there's a reason that Santa knows how to whoop so much ass in this movie. Okay, it has to slowly come back to him when you find out why he's such a badass that he is in this film. You're gonna be like, oh man, that is crazy. That's insane. I like it, and I like it. Okay. Last positive, the Home Alone tribute theme. All right. So of course we have this little girl who grew up watching Home Alone. They let her watch Home Alone. Okay. She loves the movie. So of course you know when some of these robbers come in, she's ready. She's ready. And there's a way that she handles this. It's more a violent version of what Home Alone was all about. Okay, there are traps and tricks in here that are not just injuring, they're deadly. Okay, and this little girl is setting those traps, surprisingly. All right, so that added so much to it. Almost a better idea than the actual Home Alone, in my opinion. Yeah, so I really like that. Negatives. This had a strong cheese factor to it. Okay, I hate to say this, but this movie, especially when it came to the little girl scenes, okay, it was just the relationship between her and Santa. It didn't mesh well for a movie with this sort of content. With how as violent as this movie was, every time they got to those scenes between her and good old Saint Nick, it just got too mushy, and it kind of threw me off. Like, am I watching a Disney movie again, or what's going on? Why is this in here? Why are y'all showing us this? Okay, I don't need to see what. Please stop that. It's too adorable. It's too adorable. I don't know. No, I don't feel that. Get back to the violence. Get back to the girl should have been more of a sarcastic little girl than just this happy all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. But like, for the tone of this movie, it didn't fit. All right, let's just say it didn't fit. Another negative. This movie was way too predictable. Okay, entirely too predictable. Let's just say, when you give someone a walkie-talkie, all right, and they're saying that they want to speak to Santa, what do you think's gonna happen? All right, in a movie like this, what do you think's gonna happen? What do you think's gonna happen next? And there were so many instances when this was a situation or a problem, and you were like, okay, because this is happening, this is gonna happen next. And I know that this is gonna happen next. And I read that like a book. Not good. Not too good. All right. Last negative. And this kind of piggybacks off what I just said. They made the little girl look so gullible for the age that she's at. Okay, in my opinion, she was a little too old of an age to believe that Santa was going to talk to her through a walkie-talkie. If anything, I didn't say she was going to believe in Santa, but through a walkie-talkie, and he's not going to answer back because he's busy. I don't think she would have fell for that. Okay, which is why I go back to also saying that she should have been more on a Wednesday Addams level, in my opinion. All right, I would have enjoyed that character more than this. But I gotta give this a hell yes. The little girl almost made it all right, cool, but I gotta give it a hell yes. The action was so crazy. The violence, it lived up to its title, and that's all I needed. All right, you don't get a lot of movies that live up to the title, but it did its thing. Press that like button, share. You better subscribe.